What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. So I just read some recent news, and it said Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is now going to have his father, Chavez Sr., in his corner, which is conflicting because last week or a week and a half ago, I read that he kicked his dad out of the camp and said he doesn't want his father in his camp at all, preparing for Brian Vera. And he's fighting Brian Vera, I believe, at 168 because he ballooned up and gained probably 50 pounds, or he's weighing over 200 pounds, or whatever the situation is. Leads me to today's topic, Julio Cesar Chavez. How much dedication do you think he has to the sport? That is my question to you guys. From Chavez, what I see is he's in his father's shadow. He certainly has his father's chin. He was taking hellacious shots from Sergio Martinez, and I've seen him take good shots and keep on ticking and press through. He took some good shots in the Andy Lee fight while he was trying to figure Andy Lee out. Um, I think ultimately what holds Chavez Jr. back is Chavez Jr. We've seen on the HBO 24/7, he sleeps all day, he wakes up in pink underwear, he's eating Wheaties or Lucky Charms or some shit, and it doesn't look like he's really applying himself. His father was giving him great advice and tips on how to beat a fighter like Sergio Martinez, and he looked uninterested. So, to me, Chavez is a fighter with potential, but that potential will only be realized if Chavez Jr. applies himself. Boxing is a highly dedicated, disciplined sport. If you're not going to commit to it 110%, you might as well not sign up because on the other end, on the other corner of the ring, you have someone who is trying to kill you. They're trying to knock you out, take what you have, take your namesake, and build a name for themselves, and really boost their career and enhance the livelihood for themselves and their family. So as far as Chavez, it's just sad to see a fighter who really he does things well. There's some things that he does do well. He Pernell Whitaker or somebody? No, but in the style in which he fights and the amount of weight he weighs in, he could be a great and fierce competitor. But I feel like he doesn't really apply himself. There's guys he can clearly beat, but you got guys like Gennady Golovkin, and from videos I've seen, interviews, this guy looks like boxing is life. He's really training. He's not sleeping till 5 p.m., smoking weed, using diuretics. This guy is just out grinding. And to me, it's the hard workers, the busy bees, they're going to have the more successful career in the sport of boxing. Um, and that's just what it is. Chavez Jr., like I said, there's still guys he can beat, but I think he needs to get his act together, stop being so young-minded, and really apply himself and dedicate him to the sport. I'm actually afraid of seeing what he would look like if he was fully committed and focused to boxing. He might be pretty devastating. He goes to the body, uh, just like his father did. He has an incredible chin. He outweighs most of his opponents. And I mean, really, I just want to gauge and see exactly how he looks with all the bullshit, all the fat trimmed from his career. In the Andy Lee camp, he was arrested for having a DUI. He tested positive for a diuretic. He tested positive for having marijuana in his system in the biggest fight of his resume, the biggest fight of his career against Sergio Martinez, a fight in which he had a lot to say. He was talking his fair share of trash. Sergio Martinez talked a lot of trash, and he didn't produce. And it's kind of his fault he didn't produce. He wasn't able to pull the trigger. But then again, if you have marijuana in your system, um, maybe that slows you down and makes you just have the munchies. I don't really know. But as far as Chavez Jr., I just think there's people like Peter Quillen, Gennady Golovkin, and he can make these competitive fights, but really the ball's in his court as far as how disciplined and dedicated he is to the sport. And I think ultimately when he makes that decision, that's going to either make or break him. If he decides he wants to keep doing this, makeshift workouts, not go to the gym, be kind of a spoiled brat and make Freddie Roach, even though he's not training with Freddie Roach for this next fight, just make trainers come to him and whatnot. I don't think he's going to be as successful. I actually respect when fighters do the Amir Khan route. Amir Khan was with Freddie Roach. He thought hey, I've had several fights with him and it's not improving my defense. So he went to Virgil Hunter. He was living in LA at the time. He's from England, but he was living in LA. He relocated all the way to my neck of the woods, Bay Area, to train with Virgil Hunter. He says it's a different lifestyle. Obviously, LA and the Bay, it is a different, it's both California, but it is a different lifestyle. But he relocated. I'm sure he had friends, plenty of friends in LA. And he really relocated for the sake of his career versus Chavez Jr., who was wanting to train in Vegas, and he made Freddie Roach come from LA and leave his gym and all his other fighters to train him in Vegas. And then he wasn't even showing up on time, or he had left Freddie Roach hanging and he was flaking on him. So just approaches like that. So shout out to the fighters who discipline and dedicate themselves, get up when they need to at 4 a.m. to go jogging, work on their diet, eat right, stay in shape year round. I mean, you got fighters like Canelo, the biggest fight of his career against Floyd Mayweather, September 14th. I've seen pictures of Canelo, and it looks like he's working hard. He's in Big Bear or wherever he's at. He's training. He's already doing light cardio and light sparring. I mean, this dude is preparing for that. And adversely, you have Chavez Jr., the biggest fight of his life against Sergio Martinez, the biggest fight up to that point in his career. He's smoking weed. So I think he just needs to discipline himself, get his head out his ass, and really just decide what he wants to do. Does he want to treat this sport like a full-time job, or is it more or less a part-time job and he's just doing it for some extra spending money? Let me know what you guys think of Chavez Jr. Who does he beat? Who does he lose to? Who do you want to see him fight? I would love to see him fight Gennady Golovkin, but again, if you're going against a guy like that, I think you got to just prepare yourself. The guy hits hard and has boxing ability and a lot of amateur background. So you don't want to have DUIs and staying up all late partying. You want to have a great camp. So let me know what you guys think of Chavez Jr. It's really all I got to say. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video is Ego. Signing off.